Welcome back to Lensless with Khandie Woo. My name is Lysandra, your favorite lensless stylist, and today it's episode 9. We are here with Ab. He's an award-winning film director, a media personality, and owner of Moonlight Media.
You heard
Ab,
it here first, yo.
how are you today?
I'm good. So, I would consider myself more of a filmmaker. I do direct,
Okay.
but I also do so many more things with like film. So as you know, the one that I invited you to, The Curse Within, coming out next Sunday the 12th, check it out. I edited that,
Nice.
but I also produce and I also write. And I also DP, which is like doing like the film part. So I'm kind of like all encompassing. And that was kind of mostly by default because I didn't have the money to pay people to do it. So I had
Wow.
to teach myself how to do it.
But that's good. That's like putting yourself in a position where you can handle everything, and if you have to delegate, you delegate. That's
Correct.
a plus, jack of all trades, huh?
Yeah. So I was a manager in a past life for like 15 years at like 2 different companies.
Okay.
And I had employees from like all walks of life, and one of them was FedEx, and I had over 275 employees.
Wow.
My phone was blowing up all day, all night for people calling out. I had people, older folk, younger folk, people that didn't speak English, people that just got out of prison, things like that. So I say that to say, working there helped me keep people engaged, especially at a job where you have to like take boxes off of a line to put in a
Yes.
truck.
Right.
Something as grueling as that. And it helped me keep people calm under pressure and delegate as well too. So when I'm on a film set, essentially I could deal with like all types of personalities. If you want to be a diva, I can handle that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You're probably not gonna be working with me very long, but I can still handle it. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good. So thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
I like your glasses, by the way.
Thank you. I got them from Khandie Woo.
Okay.
You should check her out.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a few questions. We're going to tap into your field of work.
Okay.
Okay. First question, okay?
Okay. Uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. How did you start? How did you first start working with
Film?
film, with media?
All right. I'm going to give you the cliff notes here. And shout out to this guy because I kind of he's got the right idea with going viral. So I was, in another past life, I used to do music. And I was in a group, no more, and I decided to go solo. And then I started doing these top 10 videos centered around pop culture, like the top 10 best hip-hop songs, top 10 Marvel movies, just whatever was trending at the time. It was me and 2 co-hosts. And I started realizing, like, these videos would go viral. Vlad TV would pick it up, World Star would pick it up, and they would do, like, crazy numbers. And the biggest video did, like, 5 million views in, like, 2 days. And I was like, hold up. It's like really easy for me to grow with video than it is with me like pitching somebody a song, like, yo, listen to my song. So anyway, I started taking video production a little bit more seriously, like filming. I think I had a flip cam. I got it from Craigslist for like $20. And I placed it on this like janky tripod, and I started filming myself and putting the videos on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, just constantly.
Okay.
More and more people started gravitating towards it. A gentleman reached out to me on Facebook Messenger, and he was like, "Yo, do you want to do a documentary?" And I was like, I've never done a documentary before. I don't know anything about production, but I've always wanted to get into film. So I was like, okay, what's the documentary about? He's like, oh, it's about this this family in Patterson. And I was like, okay, like, why not?
Okay.
So I met up with the family. Come to find out, shout out to them too, because I started working with them for a long time. Only at Jay's. That show is still in the works. But anyway, we met with the family. Come to find out, it was Fetty Wap's family.
Wow.
So we did that, and we were filming with them literally every weekend for 2 years. And my girlfriend, she's my ex now, but my girlfriend at the time, she was like, hey, I got this camera in college. You want to use it? I took that camera. I watched the whole 2-hour YouTube video on how to use it, learned everything about lighting, whatever. And those 2 years that I spent with that family is how I got my experience up. And the fact that I was working with them is how I was able to meet like clients on like Love and Hip Hop and all of these other folk. And it kind of like, it ushered my way into it, and I was like, you know what? If I'm already going to be doing this now, I might as well just take it seriously and just create the LLC and just go like full steam ahead.
Of
So like
course.
music was finito at that point, and that the rest is history. You know what I
I
mean? The rest is
see.
history. Yeah.
That's great. What do you look for in a script?
It's got to make sense. It's got to make sense, and it can't be. I don't even want to say it can't be cliche because there's no true original ideas. But if I feel like I've seen it a million times, I'll probably like come back to the person and say, let's tweak a couple of things here and
Okay.
there. If I see that they're not really open to that creative collaboration, we probably won't move forward. But I'll vet them even before we get to that point. But to answer your question, it's gotta make sense. It could be something as simple as it's about two parents raising a child that's adopted. Okay, but what's different about it? Is it funny? Does it have like thrilling elements to it? Is it just like a feel good inspirational film? Like it just has to make sense. That's
Right.
really just what it is. Everybody's different.
Right. Okay. Now, I know you said you handle a lot of different parts with what you do with the production, but how do you select a director?
I'm usually the director.
Okay.
Like people usually. So I have worked on projects. The Rebound, I produced that. Word is Bond, I produced that as well too. And there was another director. He was also the DP, the cinematographer. But I didn't choose him. He chose me to come
Okay.
onto the project. I don't think I've ever. Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever like produced a project and chose a director simply because if. Okay. I feel like, and this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm just being transparent here.
Okay.
If I'm writing my script and I'm producing that script, I just don't trust somebody else directing it because I don't consider myself a writer. So I know if I'm taking the time to actually put this story together, I'm the only person that can really like direct it the way I want it to be directed. Now, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 5 months from now, I may meet somebody who I feel has the same vision as I
Okay.
do, and I'll be able to trust them. But at this point in time, right now, that's got to be me.
Okay. I can understand that
That's
because
got to
even
be
as an
me.
artist, like I can't trust anybody to really do what I do at this point until I, vet them, scope them out, see if they have the same passion and understanding for what I do.
Exactly.
So I can resonate with that. What types of projects do you like working on?
I usually do a lot of horrors and thrillers. That's usually
Okay.
it. It's like horrors and thrillers. Those are the ones that I do myself. But when I work with other people, there are a lot of like out of the box like concepts. So I assistant directed this project by the name of Purple Velvet Fur. Shout out to Caleb too. That's my guy. He was the director, and it's about this woman. Her and her girlfriend are kind of like going through a tumultuous time,
Okay.
and mostly because of finances. And she knows this guy who tells her about this project where she can get a ton of money.
Okay.
This guy looks like Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's got like long
Okay.
braids, purple braids. He's like really eclectic. He's like raps. He's got like grills and everything, but he's a criminal. And he tells her about this bear. It's a purple velvet Beanie Baby.
Sounds like a red flag.
It's crazy, but the movie is so fire. And she has to like steal it from this guy.
Okay.
So it's like very like obscure and out there, but it's very entertaining.
Okay.
So that's really just it. Like when I find myself like gravitating towards other people's projects while I'm working on my own, it's like I need to be able to give this to somebody and say, listen, I'm going to invite you to this premiere, and it's still like on brand, even though it's not my project.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna produce like a gospel film for somebody if they're like, yo, you just did a movie where like some dude like ate somebody else, and you're gonna invite me to this. It's just got to be on brand.
brand,
It's got to
right.
be on brand. So yeah, horrors and thrillers #1 for me. Well, 1 and 2.
Okay. So for other brands, how important do you think it is to stay on brand?
I think it's very important. Brand awareness, and brand recognition, I feel, are areas where creatives kind of don't pay attention to, especially with filmmakers, because a lot of the times they're just so caught up on, I just got to make this movie. I got to make this movie. I got to make this movie. But it's like, but you have to understand, even if you have 30 followers or 30 million followers, people follow you for a specific reason, right? So perfect example, you follow me on Instagram. People know I'm going to post stuff that I'm doing, stuff that has to do with film, and like some sort of like engaging meme. You know what I mean? Nothing, I'm not posting fight videos. I'm not posting videos of people getting murdered in the street.
Sure.
I don't post things where people disrespect, you know, the opposite sex or religion or whatever. That's still brand awareness. People don't, you got to, people are always watching. You just got to remember, people are always watching. And with the internet, somebody somewhere, you may not even know who they are. They could be somebody that could put you in a whole different stratosphere of success. That one post that you think may be funny may be ruffling all types of feathers. So brand awareness is key. Brand awareness is key.
You heard him say it.
It's key.
It's a fact.
It is. It definitely is.
Okay. Now, with a production, what do you consider when managing and, you know, the checks and balances of a budget for a project or film?
If there is a budget, where's it going? You know, I feel like with indie films, a lot of the times people will say, I don't have the budget. I can't pay for X, Y, and Z. Okay, you know what? You can get away with getting actors and actresses for free. The cast, right? Everybody always wants to be in a film. Everybody wants to be seen. I get that. But you cannot skip out on locations, and you cannot skip out on the food. Those are like the two big things. You may be able to edit it yourself, film it yourself, get your homeboy to film it, you know, whatever the case may be. I feel like people will like let that pass. But if you're going to have people working for you, even if your shoot is like 3 days, you got to feed these folk. Dunkin' Donuts is not going to cut it. You know what I mean? Bagels, okay, that's fine. But bagels for dinner, come on. Like, that's not going to cut it. And locations, got to pay for your locations, man. Like, filming in your homeboy's basement, like, you could get away with it for a few scenes. But other times, people will know, like, they're in a house, but there's nothing on the walls. It just doesn't look natural. Like the locations and the catering, I feel a budget has to be allocated to that.
So pretty much choose what you invest in to make sure that your project comes out with a quality look and feel.
Correct. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Next question. We're going to talk about challenges.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, man.
Have you ever had a challenge?
All the time, man. All the time, Khandie. All right, so right now, Moonlight Media is the name of my company, right? Moonlight Media LLC. And I feel like at the prime or peak at the company, I had maybe like 10 employees. I never called them employees. I don't like to do that. I would just call them colleagues. But essentially they were employees. At this point in time, I'm solo dolo. People dropped off for whatever reason. Some people just felt like, oh, this ain't for me. I'm not ready to make these sacrifices. You know, some people realize it's more of a hobby. One member passed away. Another member moved to Tampa. My business partner and I are no longer working together. So I'm solo dolo right now, right? Which is fine because I'm naturally an aggressive, progressive person. So I move very fast and I move very aggressive. So, but there's pros and cons to this. And the con to this challenge is that now that it's just me, I'm not an octopus anymore. Before it would be, oh, listen, my man's works in the Bronx. Can you pull up to this event and film this event for this celebrity coming in town while I go to this networking event? I can't do that anymore. So I have to be more strategic with the projects that I take on. And it's a pro because now that it's really just me, I don't have the burden of having to double back and babysit, so to speak. I hate to use that term, but whenever you're dealing with other people, it's going to happen. You know, not everybody is going to be on your time all the time.
Right.
So I would have to check in. Listen, man, you good? You got something going on? We got to get this done. There's always things going on. So I feel like now I'm moving a lot more aggressively because it's just me, but I have to just strictly just focus on film. Before I could do interviews and this and birthday parties and music videos and weddings because I had the staff.
Right.
Now it's like I'm taking my losses now because I'm not bringing in as much money as I used to, but that's fine because I'm getting the projects out that I need to, so it's all good. So that's all it is. But it's a challenge.
Yeah. Sometimes the challenges help us to learn more about ourselves as well. So with that, what are you learning from it right now?
I'm learning, oh man. The one thing I'm definitely learning is that I do not have patience like I used to. So before I used to have patience where I would say, you know what I have going on right now may not be really panning out, but I got a few weeks to make sure it comes around. Now I'm looking at it like, no, it's just me now. Before, when I had the team, I would say I could take a breather. I could take the next week off and chill because my peoples are on all of these other projects. I just need to oversee it. I can't do that anymore. I take 2 weeks off, my business ain't moving. You know what I mean? The brand doesn't move unless I move it. So I'm definitely not as patient. I definitely feel like I pick and choose a lot more who I work with as well. Because now that the thing about me having my own team was not only were these individuals that I've known for years, so I knew their flaws, I knew their strengths, like I knew I could rely on them and things like that. You working with people you've only known for a few months, they may not show up to that shoot at 6 a.m. They may show up late. They may not be as professional as I expect them to be. There's sort like nuances there, so it's like, but I think I'm a pretty good judge of character.
Okay.
And I would hope that my personality exudes, what's the term? Professionalism. So people know, like, if you're going to be working with me, I'm not going to be dealing with the foo-foo. Right. So, you know what I mean? So
yeah, get it right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be out here acting a fool. So I don't expect people to be doing it either.
Okay. Okay, so enough of the challenges. I think we raised your pressure enough. Let's bring it to something fun.
Okay.
When I watch your content.
Okay.
My favorite parts is when you talk about movies.
Okay.
And that eagle eye that you have, this guy will pick out certain things that nobody else sees in a scene from different movies and just pulls it out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He'll replay it, he'll pause it, he'll put his finger and point it out. And I like that because now it causes us to understand the film industry from his perspective. So now when we go to movies, we're going to always remember, he did say that.
Yeah.
Let me look in that top left corner. What's that? A mic? A cord? Why is there a cell phone in the 1900s?
Yeah.
You know, like...
That's a good point.
So let me ask you this. What movie have you seen recently that you would change certain things in it to make it better?
Ooh. I watched The Nun last night on HBO Max. And it was a good movie. But there was a few scenes. All right, there was one scene in particular, right? There's a priest in the film, and he's already aware, I guess, of like supernatural happenings and miracles and things like that. But in the film, he knows there's a demon there.
Okay.
And he's like walking around, he hears like these crazy things, and then he's like so gung-ho about like following these noises. And it's just like, dude, if you know there's a demon there, like why aren't you like actually like being what's the word? Cautious. Like I would have changed that because I felt like it was a little out of place with the pacing of it. But it didn't make or break the film. It's just something I was just like, his character's a little, doesn't really make sense. It's a little inconsistent. But yeah, I think that would be it. But I'll tell you what, man, it's gotten to the point where like I watch movies and sometimes I have to like turn it off So it's like if I'm going to watch like a Marvel movie with my dad or whatever,
Okay.
it's like, all right, me and my dad are going to watch this movie. I gotta like, we're gonna go watch The Flash. I need to just really enjoy this film for like what it is, or not enjoy it.
Okay.
But I can't sit there and dissect it.
Okay.
So sometimes I do have to turn it off. But then it's so crazy because after I watch it, people are like, "Yo, did you see it? What'd you think, yo?" And I'm like, "Now I gotta do it.
You know.
Now I gotta do it. Tell me what you thought, bro. Tell me what you thought." So, oh my gosh.
That's cool. I was telling you before. I watched your review of a movie prior to seeing the movie Nowhere on Netflix, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, I'm hearing this guy's voice, and I'm like, man, I gotta watch the movie before I even watch his reviews, because I'm like looking at this, and I'm like, completely just twisted my whole experience. But it was an alright movie.
It was entertaining, right?
It was entertaining, but again, like you said, it was a little cliche, because I'm like, come on.
We've seen it before.
Yeah.
But
The way they did it was cool, though.
I definitely agree. She was pregnant. She gave birth to a child inside of the shipping container. I mean, I'm spoiling it, but you know, it is what it is.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. But you know, it's different. And then she sliced her leg.
Yeah, that part was crazy.
That part was crazy. But it was entertaining. It was entertaining. It was entertaining.
But again, like you said, cliche. And you said earlier that just the ideas, it's like running out of ideas.
Yeah, it's we live now in a time where it's not even a time. So when people complain about like all of these remakes and reboots and spin-offs and reimaginings and all of this stuff, I don't think people understand that it's really difficult for like original movies to turn a profit. So even if you go back to when your parents were watching movies, right? I'm pretty sure they saw reruns or remakes or whatever. And that's because, back to brand awareness, that brand awareness, people are comfortable with it. They know, oh, this is the 30th Fast and the Furious. I know what I'm going to get into. I'm going to spend this money. But then they do, oh, Furious and Fast. I don't know about that. I never heard of that before. So it's like really difficult. It's really difficult. Well, you know what? I wouldn't even say it's difficult. I don't think Hollywood is willing to spend the money into original like IPs because they know people aren't going to like show out for it. They'll go watch a 15th rendition of Spider-Man and Batman because they know what they're going to get into. But if they try to do one on, I don't know, choose some random superhero nobody's ever heard of, they're not going to be like, I don't know anything about him. I'm not going to do it.
But doesn't that leave space for new filmmakers?
You would think so. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Doesn't that leave space for new filmmakers to like just come out with something fresh and new and this is a breath of fresh air? Like,
everything that you're saying makes complete sense. To me, it makes complete sense. But I also got to look at it like if I go up to Steven Spielberg, Tyler Perry, Spike Lee, whoever, and I say, hey, look, this is my original idea. If they don't steal it, they're probably looking at it like, I don't know, how am I going to turn a profit on this when I could just do another White Man Can't Jump? You know? What? Like, why would I do this? They're going to have me run the gamut and give them a million questions that I need to answer on why I think my original idea is perfect.
Make you doubt yourself,
make me doubt myself. Go home. I'm in a depression for like 2 months. Stressed out, thinking that I'm not gonna be good enough, and then these guys are just gonna turn around and just make like why did I get married 5 or whatever, and just have the same stories just like regurgitated. I don't know. I don't know. It is crazy. It is crazy. But we also do live in a new age where there's so many streaming platforms out there, where if whoever I go to does not accept it, these are all hypotheticals, obviously, does not accept it, somebody else somewhere maybe like, look, I need some type of new content, so I'm going to take it. So it just is what it is.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. What advice would you give to someone who's interested in pursuing a career in the film industry? From any title, any aspect. Just the industry in itself. What is it that this person needs?
I think they need to understand that it's real out here and you need to sacrifice and you need to be ready to sacrifice. This takes time. I know people watch these low budget Tubi movies are like really viral now. And I don't have anything against filmmakers like that aren't working on super duper crazy budgets. I get it because I'm an indie filmmaker myself, but it's not as easy as going to Target, buying a Canon camera, and just telling somebody, yo, look, you're going to walk in and punch them in the face and I'm going to film it. We're going to go viral. If you really are serious about this craft, you need to understand that there are a lot of moving pieces. You need to be ready to sacrifice because there's going to be a lot of times you're going to be on set for 14 hours. You're going to get 2 hours of sleep. You're not going to have a social life. There's going to be a lot, like, everything is going to take a hit. Your time management is going to have to be A1, elite. If you're married, be ready to tell your wife, look, if you can't come on set with me to hang out, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see you this weekend. You know what I mean? It's an expensive hobby, and it will break you. It will break you. Build that tribe because you cannot do it yourself. I'm telling you, you cannot do it yourself.
That's very important to hear because nothing is overnight, and I think the way society is right now, it's like that instant gratification. Nothing happens overnight.
Yep.
It's years of work, dedication, like you said, sacrifices. A lot of people don't want to sacrifice. They rather ride somebody's coat to get there, jump off, and then think it's going to be as easy, and it's not. And then their dreams get crushed, they give up, and, whereas somebody with that dedication, consistency, steadfast, they ride in it, and they build, they develop their milestones, and, they enjoy the process.
That's another one, too. You have to enjoy the process because I'm telling you, it's not
for the weak.
It's not for the weak, man. There'll be times where and sometimes I am victim to this, too. So there's 3 stages of production, right? You got pre-production, which is like the planning stage. That's when you like get your script together. You know what I'm saying? You got the production process when you're actually on set filming, and then you got post-production when you're editing, right? If you're an actor, you don't have to worry about the post-production. For somebody like me, I have to be involved in all 3 parts, and there'll be times where I'll be 3 months into this first stage, and I'm just like, do I really trust the people that I'm working with to actually finish this out, or am I gonna have to do it myself? And it can be you just have to be very secure with yourself and secure with your talents and you have to trust others. You have to trust others. So yeah, no, it's not a game out here. It's not a game out here.
What are you currently working on that you're excited about?
Woo,
Tell the listeners what you're working on.
Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. We got the Chase documentary that's dropping next year. That's featuring my boy Cradle. It's a documentary about a gentleman. He was a basketball prodigy in school, and he had a decision to make: keep pursuing his hoop dreams or pursue his true passion of music. And he decides to pursue his passion of music. He goes on tour, and his single goes platinum. So I did a documentary on that. I directed that one. The Curse Within, the one I told you about, that I edited that. That one is pretty dope. It's about a successful lawyer who is like he's a predator. He's like a sexual predator, and he's trying to destroy families of single mothers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very deep movie, very Lifetime centric, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very deep movie, and oh my gosh, I got so many. I'll just keep the last one then. Daily Bread. I wrote and directed that. That's actually in the film festival circuit right now. And it's about...
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's about... it's a single gentleman. It's a single man in the second COVID lockdown. You know, the second one never happened, but it's my movie. So the second lockdown happens, and he meets a woman on a dating site, and he goes for a one-night stand, and things kind of like spiral out of control.
Okay.
So yeah, that one I'm hoping I'm waiting for Amazon to pick that up, and the Chase documentary will be on Tubi next year as well too. So, but I got so much stuff like lined up. 2024 is gonna be so. It's like every day I'm gonna be like promoting something else.
That's a good look, though. You're staying busy. You're doing what you love. So,
Yeah, I cut out going to the bar and like all that stuff, and I'm on set all day. Like that's like my party now.
okay.
Networking. If I'm not at a networking event, like I'm on set
So
or I'm editing.
You're married to the life. To the
Yeah,
film
pretty
life.
much. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Last question.
Okay, let's get it.
Is there anybody, any group of people that you want to give a shout out to as far as, you know, your journey through the whole film industry from beginning to now? Like anybody you really just want to give a good shout out to?
Shout out to the Robinson family from Only at Jay's. They this is like a very emotional thing I'm about to say here. I ain't gonna tear though. I ain't gonna cry. They gave us an opportunity, and like I said, we were around that family for years, and so it's the two grandparents, the father, who's Big Jeff, and the son, that's Little Jeff, and then Fetty Wap is like the cousin, but they're like all intertwined. The grandparents passed away, and literally earlier this year, Little Jeff passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like so crazy because it's like that family has done so. If I did not start working with that family, Moonlight Media would not be here. You know what I mean? So all of like my early beginnings at Power 105 and everything like that, it's because of them.
Okay.
So shout out to the Robinson family, Big Jeff, I love you, bro. You know what I mean? And yeah, shout out to them, definitely. So yeah, and my parents, obviously.
Mom and Dad, they did
Yeah,
bring you
know,
here.
I know. If it wasn't for them, yeah.
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah. I've lived many lives.
I see. So I want you to tell the listeners where they can find you on social media and, you know, kind of keep updated with your reviews, your progress with your projects coming up and future projects.
Hit me on the gram. And then I have a TikTok and everything, but hit me on the gram. It's AB1 ABWONUNO. ABWONUNO. I'm trying to get that literally cut down to just Ab. But Antonio Brown, the football player, has it, so I'm never gonna get that.
Okay. But your I think the handle is very unique. So
it's crazy. People can't even pronounce it. They were like, people ask me if I'm African all the time. They were like, yo, how do you pronounce it? I'm like, it's 2 words. That's why.
yeah, when I see it, it's like Ab11.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
That's what I see anyway.
Yeah. That's what people used to call me back when I did music. They used to call me Uno, so I just kept that on there sometimes.
Okay.
So some people call me it, some people don't.
Cool.
It is what it is.
This concludes our interview.
That's it?
Yes. I mean, we went through all emotions today.
How much time we got left, though? I want to ask you a question.
You can ask me a question. Go ahead.
We good? What's your favorite movie?
Bak.
Really?
What?
What?
Man, listen.
For real?
I could watch that a million times.
So when I did the one with the boom mic, you was probably like, I ain't never seen that one.
I was like, how dare he?
Now, those
How
Unblocked
dare
movies are
he.
fire.
I like action movies, and that one in particular. I don't know what it is about it. I think the storyline, the I don't know, just the fight scenes.
He's like super athletic.
Listen, and
Yeah.
I like Bruce Lee. I like, I love those movies where it's just clever fighting, like like under the table stuff. Like
Yeah, I
you
know.
know?
There was this one
Very
scene he
cool.
jumped over like this. He was running through this alleyway, jumped up, did a split over in the air over the guy on a motorcycle, and then slid under the truck. I said,
Listen.
yo, that's an athlete.
Listen, I don't know if he's doing his own stunts
He
or
was. He was.
yeah.
Tony Jaa, yeah, he was.
Listen, I'm very impressed with that whole series of movies. So
I'm gonna
that's
send
my
you a
favorite.
video I saw on YouTube, and it's about like the rise and like the fall of like him as like a movie star. Even though
Okay.
he's still doing his thing now, but I'm gonna send it to you. It was like very
Yeah,
informative.
I look forward to that. That concludes this interview, and
All
thank you
right.
for your question.
Of
I
course, of
appreciate
course, of
that.
course, of course.
So, this is Lensless with Khandie Woo, and I thank you guys for listening. Please do check out Ab's information on his journey, filmmaking, directing, the many hats that he wears. And for me, you can find me at Khandie Woo Brand on Instagram. You'll find this full episode on YouTube. Khandie Woo 1, the number 1 at the end, Khandie Woo number 1 at the end. And also, I have a few things coming up. I have a pop-up shop coming in November 12th at Thermostat Coffee Bar in Brooklyn. It's a little pop-up shop. It's called Art and Brew, and I will be doing an exhibit of my lensless eyewear with wine and coffee, of course. And I'm invited.
That's a very intriguing combination, wine and coffee.
Yes, so that's why I love the venue because that's it's like a cafe,
Gotcha.
and it's Black woman owned.
Okay, okay. Word.
So right across from a block away from Barclays Center. So it's a prime location. It's a nice venue, and I'm excited about that. So thank you, and I will see you again in the next episode of Lensless with Khandie Woo.
Word.